I'll take you to the internet and I'll show you one or two things that you need to know about the project. Okay. So the first thing first is that you need to realize that Orizon is a DeFi 3.5, okay, protocol. And what that basically means is Horizon is leveraging technology from DeFi 1.0, technology from DeFi 2.0, technology from DeFi 3.0, and now they are innovating by adding artificial intelligence. Okay. And when Horizon says we are adding artificial intelligence, that is not a buzzword because today AI has become a buzzword that anybody can just say, oh, it's AI, and people will run at it because they are claiming it is AI. Okay. So Horizon has been listed among the top 10 Web3 AI innovators. This is from CETIC. Okay. CETIC is the largest blockchain security auditor on the planet. All right. CETIC is the largest blockchain security auditor on the planet. Now, in Binance Smart Chain, CETIC has listed only 15 projects, 15, okay, that qualify in this category, okay, as a Web3 AI innovator. And Orizon is on the list, okay? So as you can see them, they are number 9. So AI is not a buzzword. Now, however, for the average person who is investing, maybe somebody who invested in maybe something like, maybe invested in a package or in a program that has crashed, okay? Or a program where people lost money. We have all those kind of programs today where people have lost money. For that kind of person, the first concern is going to be how can we even trust that this program will not be like other projects that have come and have crashed? Okay. So talking about the issue of crashing, you need to understand, I mentioned 3 things here, okay, or 4. DeFi 1.0 technology was AMM, automated market maker. DeFi 2.0 was POL. Now, the key thing you need to realize is what POL is, because if you understand POL, you would know that this project is going to last long. Okay. POL protocols are built for longevity. Now, if you have time, go to Google. Okay. Go to Google. All right. And just Google what is the cornerstone of DeFi 2.0. Okay. As you can see here, I Googled that just before this meeting because I don't want to come and begin to Google and wait for it to pull out so that we don't waste time. Okay. The cornerstone of DeFi 2.0 is what? Protocol owned liquidity. That's what we call POL. Okay. Unlike DeFi 1.0, which relied on renting liquidity from users through high incentive temporary liquidity mining programs, DeFi 2.0 allows protocol to own and manage their own liquidity using bonding mechanisms and native treasuries. So in a protocol-owned liquidity project, there is something called bonding mechanism and there's something called treasury. That is where the protocol is able to own and manage their own liquidity. Now, if you have time, come do this search by yourself. What is the cornerstone of DeFi 2.0? And just read it up, okay? Do it on Google, okay? And read it up on yourself. So it has improved capital efficiency, okay? Protocol owned liquidity, enhanced security, and sustainable incentive. Take note, sustainable incentive. This is why the APY on a protocol owned liquidity proto system is not static. Okay? Because whenever you hear static rewards, somebody say they are giving you 3% every day, and everybody is 3% every day. That 3% does not adjust. So it does not matter how the tokenomics or the economies of scale or how the market stability or market situation at that point is. No matter what is happening in the market, they are paying 3% per day. You already know that that is a problem. It is unsustainable. In protocol, in POL, we have what they call sustainable incentives. Now, I'm not the one that wrote this. You can go and Google it yourself, okay? That what is the cornerstone of DeFi. So POL was created to address the high risks of hacks in 1.0. It introduces automated smart contract audits, okay, and decentralized insurance protocol. I'm not going to read all of that because, again, like I'm saying, you can go there. There's a lot of content outside there. The people who pioneered this technology is called Olympus DAO. Olympus DAO is still in the business till today. Their POL system still exists. You can come to, what do you call it? You can come to Coin Market Cap, okay? And you can search here, click in the search, and you can search for Olympus OHM. Okay? OHM is the name of their token. Okay? And you wait for it. You can open, okay, Olympus OHM. Okay? So I'm just going to open this one. Okay? All right. And you will be able to see the project. You can also come to Cetic and look for Olympus now. Okay, Olympus OHM. You can come to Cetic and look for them also. This is Cetic. All right. You would see that if you scroll down, that this is on Cetic. And by the way, I'm rushing because this is just a 30 minutes presentation. Okay. So this project is how long? 5 years and 3 months. Okay. In the last 7 days, this project has had $12,000 worth of transactions. Okay, this is 5 years and 3 months later, and there is still transactions on the project. 5 years and 3 months later, tokens are still being transferred. As you can see, token transferred in the last 7 days. This is 5 years and 3 months later. And by the way, right now, the incentive has dropped, okay? You can go and check. When they started, their incentive was 200,000%. You can Google it. In fact, let me see if I can do that. Google now. Come back here. I'm just going to ask here and say, okay, what was Olympus DAO OHM APY when they started, and how much is it now? How much was their APY when they started, and how much is the APY now? Okay. Reasonable question to ask. Okay. Olympus DAO launched March 2021. Its taking APY was famously extreme, reaching as high as what? 200,000%. So for someone that is thinking that Orizon's APY is high, Orizon APY is a joker compared to what Olympus DAO gave. They give 200,000% APY. Right now, 5 years later, the APY is what? 6% to 7.3%. Now remember, in protocol owned liquidity systems, the incentives are not static. The incentives are sustainable. So it starts out, the more users, the higher, the less the incentives, the less users, the higher the incentives. The incentive continually regulates. When you have more people, it goes a little down. When you have less people, it goes back up to invite new people. So you can go and even check people like, what do you call it? Origin, LGNS. They started with 7,900% APY. Just say 8,000% APY. Okay. And Orizon started with 1,700. Okay. All right. So these are like I said, just use Google. All this information is on the internet, is on Google. You can check it yourself. So Olympus DAO is still in the market. Okay. They are still in business. Now, there are mistakes that Olympus DAO made, okay, that has been corrected by Orizon, which we may not have time to cover in this meeting. But what Orizon has done is Orizon has taken this system that is called POL, that was innovated and invented by Olympus DAO, okay? They have also taken scalability from Origin LGNS, because Origin LGNS came and did the same POL protocol, a POL system, but Origin added referral systems. The reason why many of us did not hear about Olympus DAO was because nobody was referring Olympus DAO. Okay, so and that's why Olympus DAO did not grow very well. They did not grow fast. They did not grow quick. They did not have a lot of users. Now, the people called Origin now came and introduced referral framework within the context of POL. All right. And it brought scalability, and that was called DeFi 3.0. They were able to scale. In fact, in 2 years, they hit $400 million, okay, worth of liquidity in market cap with all the investments that came in. And they scaled to 2 million users. Now, Horizon, or what do you call them? Origin also is still in the market. Okay. Origin also is still in the market. This is Origin. Origin is still in the market. They have been in the market for 2 years and 2 months. Okay. In the last 7 days, their transaction volume in the last 24 hours is 520,000 US dollars. As you can see here, that's volume. Looking for transaction in the last 7 days. Token transferred. Token performance. Okay, so basically I'm seeing 24 hours here. I'm not seeing 7 days. Okay, this is token holders, 2.4 million right now. Okay, look at it. Under geography, I believe. Geography, yeah. Under geography, the worth of tokens transferred in the last 7 days is what? $4.15 billion worth of tokens. Total transactions, 13,140,221 transactions. Okay. So 13 million transactions around that in the last 7 days. This is 2 years and 2 months later. Okay. And remember, this project is a POL project. Okay. One of the ways you can easily identify if a project is a POL project, and remember, when we say POL, what we are basically saying is that the money in the money, the liquidity. And for those of us who are not crypto people, let me just explain what that means in simple English. Right now, we have a cartel that operates in different countries that creates crypto cheat coins. They create cheat coins. The purpose of these coins are to scam people. Cheat tokens, sorry. So they gather maybe in Dubai in a penthouse, like one of my friends who was in Dubai some months ago, and he was invited. Say some guy met him where he was with a Lamborghini and invited him to come to a penthouse. They're going to help him to blow. He went to the penthouse and he was introduced to a lot of guys. There were a lot of different guys from different parts of the world, and they were waiting for their kingpin. The kingpin is a Brazilian guy who has a lot of money. In fact, he got to find out that even the Lamborghini that the Nigerian guy was driving belonged to this Brazilian guy. So they held a meeting, he said, at the pinnacle of a penthouse in one of the tallest buildings there in Dubai. What's the game plan? We are going to create a coin or a token, okay? Brazilian guy is going to put 9 million US dollars. All of us are going to put money. Everybody there is now going to go and promote it to your community. If you don't have a community, you will not be in that room. It's for people that have community. Community on Twitter, community on Instagram, where you can promote the token. So you now go to your community and promote this token. Now, people will now bring money. So users will bring in more utility because everybody's promoting. When users begin to bring money, the price of the token will rise because the more people put in money, the more the price rises. So when the price rises, what is going to happen? They are going to come back and blow an alarm and say, okay, I think we have hit our target. We have made 2x or 3x or 4x. Everybody take out your money. When they take out their money, that is the liquidity, okay? Remember, somebody put $9 million. When he takes out his money and every other person takes out their money, the price is going to crash, okay? And when the price crash, the people who are going to cry are the people who did not get the signal on when to remove their money. So that is the explanation on what is called mercenary capital. So if you come to Google, you can come and search for it. What is mercenary capital? Okay, if you come here, DeFi 1.0 use what they call rented liquidity, rented model, okay? This creates mercenary liquidity. Once extra rewards stop, users often pull their funds to find the next high yield opportunity, causing price crashes and shallow liquidity for the original protocol. So that is the problem. So on DeFi 1.0, the only way to make money is what? Pump and dump. But in DeFi 2.0, the protocol controls the liquidity. There is permanent liquidity. So if you come to any of these projects, even if it's Olympus DAO, you scroll down and you look at this data here, under governance, you see that there's always major shareholder. This major shareholding is not an individual because as you can see, the owner holding is 0.0%. This money that is showing 98% means that the total liquidity in the project, the total money in this project, 98% is in the project's treasury. So whether you check Olympus DAO, whether you come and check Orizon is 95% right now. 95% of the total money in the project, okay, 94%, okay, is inside the treasury. If you come and check Origin, okay, the same thing. This is how many years later? 2 years and 2 years later is for Origin. 97% of the protocol's liquidity is held inside the protocol's treasury. Okay? So the advantage of this is that, first of all, you cannot have an individual that can rock pull the project. And even the other thing that many of us are afraid of, which is what of if the owners run away with the money? What of if they remove the capital? It's not as simple as that. In fact, as you are, if you look here, this is for Origin. Origin did not renounce their ownership of the project. Origin still has ownership of the project. But Origin is making too much money from transaction fees to think about removing that money in the, it's like a bank. When you want to start a bank, that's why if you even come here, you see they call themselves Origin Bank. Their liquidity, okay, they call themselves on their development space, they call themselves Origin Bank, because this is actually, they are using a regular banking model. Look at the Jitter profile, Origin Bank. In a regular banking system, what you normally do is you have money that you are going to have as a capital. In somewhere like Africa, you know, we have a central bank, okay, that they require some form of deposit, like some form of security deposit that guarantees that you are able to facilitate user transaction and user activities on your bank. So when you put your money down, you are now given a banking license. Okay, with that banking license, you can now start to transact and you have sufficient money to do transactions. You have money to, you know, people can withdraw, people can, you know, there's cash in the system. And for a bank, usually you need to bring your own capital. Okay, yes, you can get investors and anything, but that there must be some money you are starting with. That's the model you are looking at here. In this model, This capital is raised by the team and is put into their treasury, just like you have a United States treasury. That treasury has stable assets. Let's not need to go to the technical story. But the bottom line is, with how does a bank make money? Transaction fees. Some of them loan that money, okay, and make gains and rewards from loaning the money, okay? So bank has its own way, traditional banking system has its own way of turning that money around in addition to the transaction fees that they're making. But they make a lot of, like say, how does Money Point make money? Transaction fees. Many of the banking solutions, fintechs, is transaction fees. That is the model you are seeing here. Okay? Olympus DAO, Origin LGNS, they are chopping a lot of money on transaction fees. I hear Origin is making $2 million a day on transaction fees. Okay, just imagine. In the last 7 days, they've had what? How many billion worth of transactions? Billion worth of, like, in $4.15 billion token transfers. So the question is, how much of transaction fees will happen in that network? 13 million transactions. So there's a lot of, so the motivation to say you want to remove capital and run, the capital is not users' money. The capital does not belong to the users, it belongs to you. So where are you running away with the money? It's your money from the beginning. So it's not like, oh, users put money, I want to run away with their money. It's different, okay? When you say you are running away with somebody's money and when you say it is your own money. Okay, so the only situation where you want to run away with money here is that maybe you no longer have money in the treasury. The money in the treasury has finished. But like you have seen, in these projects, money in the treasury is always more than the total holding of the users. Treasury always holds money than the users. If the governance is good, Treasury always holds more money than the users. And again, like I said, this is something you need to read up on this POL stuff. What Orizon is doing differently, Orizon is bringing AI governance. Orizon's biggest strength is AI governance. If you come here to look at Orizon, they score 96.75% because the risks associated in this particular project is governance. When you mint, when you bond, when you deploy money into the protocol to buy the protocol's token, when you sell using the bonding mechanism, the key things in this particular project, the major risks is around governance, how you govern the use, the smart contract, how the smart contract govern the use of the resources that are in the treasury of the protocol. And that is what Orizon is doing with AI. AI is governing the activities of the protocol in terms of the treasury. So I don't want to overstress again because, like I said, we don't have much time. But the bottom line is Olympus DAO did not renounce ownership. And Olympus DAO is 5 years in the business. Look at it. Olympus DAO did not renounce ownership. This is Olympus DAO. They did not renounce ownership. And in this particular protocol, you always have external core rigs and means function because it is a combination of multiple smart contracts working together. Okay, I hear Olympus DAO had 30 smart contracts. Origin LGNS had like 80. And Orizon has 138 smart contracts. Smart contracts speaking to each other will create what we call external core rigs. Means function is because this project is about yield farming. You stake and you earn incentives. Because when you stake your money is used to manage transactions, to manage swaps and several other things, and you earn yield the longer you put your money down. Okay? And that is why there's always means function. If you check Olympus DAO, you check Orizon, okay? All of them have what? Means function, external core rigs. Now, Orizon does not have modifiable tax, meaning Orizon is saying that their tax will not exceed 5%. But if you go and check Olympus DAO, okay? Okay, I think Olympus DAO also did not have buy tax, they did not have sell tax, but they did not renounce ownership. Origin, on the other hand, had sell tax, and they had modifiable tax, meaning they can modify their tax anytime. Okay? So, like I said, in this project, you are not thinking about, are they running with our money? The money that they are bringing to start and the money they put in the treasury, they always try to do governance to ensure that that money is always more in volume and in percentage than the money that people are holding in the system. Okay? So what have we spoken about so far? I've told you that number one is you need to understand POL, because if you understand POL, you sleep well at night. Use Google and find it. Okay? It will explain why this project will last long. POL projects were created to last long because they are not renting liquidity. They own the liquidity. Okay? How do I now go to the blockchain and identify a POL project? For example, this is Olympus DAO. Okay? If you want to go to the blockchain and find whether it is a POL project, you come here, come down to where you have all these details on the left-hand side. If you're on, what do you call it? You're on CoinMarketCap, and then you click here on the scan, the blockchain scanner, okay, for the particular blockchain. Do not read the values based on what you're seeing just here, because if you come here and you go down to holders, I saw someone send something, say the project is a classic case of rock pulling because the highest owner can take out his money. That's what I thought also initially when I did not understand POL projects. So if you come down to holders here on CoinMarketCap, you'll be confused because it will show you that the highest holder is holding a lot of money, maybe 50%, 60% of the total money is in one person's account. So that's why you need to go to the blockchain scanner for that particular blockchain. Olympus DAO was created on what? Ethereum. So it's Etherscan, Olympus OHM. Okay? You come to holders. Okay? And any project on the blockchain where you cannot find the holders, be careful with that project. They give you a smart contract. When you come to the smart contract, you can't find holders. Many times also, you can't even find their token. They don't have a token or you can't find the token. Okay? Be careful. All right? All right. So, holders. Now, if you come down here, you will see this how to identify a POL project. In front of this wallet, this wallet is holding 70% of the money right now in the entire project. If you see this sign that says contract or smart account, contract, smart account, all of those are money that is held in a smart contract, money controlled in a smart contract, money that is inside the treasury. That's why you're seeing contract, because the money is controlled by a smart contract. If you look at here, according to the scan by Ethereum, they say whales on this project are what? 16 whales, 99.24%. That's not true. Okay? They are not whales. That is money inside where a contract, money regulated by a smart contract. That's the money in the treasury. If you do the same check for Orizon, okay, come to Orizon and do the same check. All right. This is Orizon. Come here, click on Binance, the Binance scan here. It will open up. Okay, you will see the same thing. If you do that for Orizon, if you do that for any POL project, you would see that the top wallet, that thing that looks like a wallet, is not a wallet. It's a smart contract. Okay, but the smart contract is controlling that fund. It's not in a user wallet. So if you come here, it's loading. This is the reason why I was actually opening these pages, to just keep them so that we don't have to go through the whole loading. Okay. All right. I come to holders. Okay. And remember what I said. Any project you can't find the holders, be careful. Any project where you can't find your own wallet on the blockchain, be careful. Now, see 57%. What is that? is a contract. Contract, 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 contract. So the first 9 wallets that have the bulk of the money, 94.26% of the money, is inside where? A smart contract. So if you see the highest user here is what? 0.0753. If he removes this money, okay, which he can't even remove overnight, he can't remove it immediately, he still has to vest the money. But let us say he was even able to take out the money at once, the protocol will not notice. Why? Because the money, the main money in the protocol is held in the treasury, and that is 95% approximately of the liquidity in the project. It's not held by external individuals. It's held in the smart contract. So that's how to check. You go to CoinMarketCap, look for the project, click on the Binance chain or the Ether chain or the Polygon chain and check. You will see the difference here. Okay? So that is a summary. Okay? Issues like, oh, can they pause transfers? Can they block? This is a decentralized system. How do you know on the blockchain if a project is decentralized? For example, in the case of Orizon, okay? When you come, you need to look for where their liquidity is held. If the liquidity is held on a centralized exchange, yes, there is a problem, okay? Like if you scroll down here, you see you have CEX and DEX. You just need to check. If the liquidity, look at liquidity, okay? This liquidity right now here is $2,240,000, okay? And it is held on where? DEX. You click DEX here, and you see that that is where the money, this pancake swap is a decentralized exchange. That is where the liquidity is held. If the liquidity is held on a CEX, centralized exchange, you know that the centralized exchange can get up one day and get angry and block their accounts. Because centralized exchange means any exchange where you need to do KYC. KYC is needed on centralized exchanges. So any platform also where you need to give your first name, your last name, your email, your phone number to create an account. Okay? You don't do two-factor authentication. Any platform like that is a centralized platform because they know who you are. In Orizon, you do not use a centralized dashboard to log in. Okay? On Orizon, you use a decentralized. The major information you need for Orizon is you just need to have a wallet and know your key phrase, your passphrases. That is how you know it's a decentralized system. It's key phrase that you use. You don't use, there's no back office where you have to log in with your username and with your password. All of those are centralized systems. Now, does that mean that there are no scammers on the blockchain? There are. That is why you have platforms like Cetic that is a security auditor. Okay? So you also go to Cetic and hear what Cetic published about the project. What are they saying about the project? There you can find some of the risks associated with the project. I've showed you Olympus DAO did not renounce any assets. Origin did not renounce any assets. In fact, Origin even had sale tax and modifiable sale tax. In other words, they can modify it. Okay? But Orizon, okay, you can come here and look at it. They've renounced assets. And by the way, when Orizon started, Orizon